Alrighty, hello. Making a fade video actually, as per request of one of my lovely viewers. I was so cringe. Anyway, Fade is one of the best agents in the game, in my opinion. Super amazing in solo queue, very good for solo plays, and in sort of a team environment, probably one of the best agents in the game. Best ability is the Fade Eye, second is the Dog, third is probably her ult, and then fourth is her Tether. Her eye is by far her best ability. It's like a Sova Dart. It's super strong. It scans, so you want to find lineups and sit in smokes, and when they get scanned, you shoot them in the smokes. The Dog, you get two of them. They last a short amount of time. The really common angles that a lot of people die on, like Ascent A main, where Jets Ascent A or B main, like Jets, Reynas, they always peek and get one and get out. You can clear that. The Tether is good for, those team plays. You combo with the Raise Nade. Obviously, they're stuck to the Tether and they can't get out of the circle that they're in. So, obviously, comboing it with utility like a Brimalt, Raise Nade, they're going to die. But on the fly, it's kind of hard to utilize. So, I like to use it for information and stopping pushes. That's it. I think that's where the two best things are. When you're not using it as a set play. It's like on the fly things. Because the Tether will... obviously, if it's not connected to anything, it'll just disappear. But if it does tether to something, it'll indicate that someone's there. It also says creates a sound cue. Really hard to tell, but there is a difference. So if it's ever quiet, you can tell the difference of whether someone's tethered or not. But a lot of times it's really chaotic, so you can't really hear. So I don't rely on that. I would like to rely on the visual aspect when looking at the tether. And then the ultimate, it goes in a wave. It's like a breach roll, goes in a wave from start to finish. So it takes time to get to the end. And so if you ult close and you hear it pings right away, then you know someone's close. If it pings at the very end of your ult, then you know he's far away. That's really good information. And then of course it'll leave a trail, so you can just then dog it, and then you'll find the exact position. Obviously, her role is to gather information. She's an information-based character, and I think that is super important, super impactful, but goes extremely unnoticed. Goes less unnoticed than flashes do, and flashes go unnoticed a lot. So this character, you're going to impact yourself and your teammates incredibly as long as you use your utility. You won't get assists most of the time, because this game is scuffed like that. You won't get, those flashy plays a lot of time, but you're going to win games. That's all that matters. The same thing that applies what I just said about your teammates can also apply to you. You can clear, maybe you don't know a lineup, so you do things on the fly. You can maybe clear just close left and not the right. But because you cleared close left, you don't have to worry about the left, so you can just focus on the right. And you may not think that's a big deal, but it's a very big deal. There's a lot of choke points. Let's say on retaking Haven on A site, retaking to that little choke point of CT, it's really hard to clear Graffiti and Hell and worry about short at the same time. If you maybe eye close right or tether close right, you don't have to worry about the right peak at all, and you could just confidently swing out to the left. And it's all about confidence and mentality in this game, and when you don't have to worry about something, your chances of winning the fight go up tremendously. So, like, you may not be scanning them, but you know that they're not there, and that information is still information. And it's very important and really helpful. And it won't go noticed, but it's very impactful. Now, Fade is an information character, but her eye is one of her best abilities at stopping pushes and punishing 5-man pushes, which is what ranked players do. So, for ranked, on the very first round, 9 times out of 10, maybe 8 times out of 10, they're just going to 5-man down a site. If you have a lineup in a set play, you can bait them in. You sit in the smoke, you throw your eye, it'll clear them all. You're able to kill them all through the smoke and get free kills. Or you could throw it for your teammates and the same thing, they get free kills. So don't throw your eye right away all the time, especially if they're 5-man pushing. There's no point. I see a lot of people throw their eye at the start of the round, and it just gets insta-broken as if you didn't know you were there in the first place, because they just run. You don't need to throw your eye if you already know that they're there. Like, you can hear them running. You don't need to throw your eye. It's gonna get shot anyway. There's no point in throwing it. You might as well save it. So don't do that. You, it's a good idea to throw your eye at the start of the round if they're not five manning. If they're defaulting or they're walking up, that is when you want to throw it. So like, if they're walking up and they're not making noise, they could be walking up B or A and explode out. You want to know right away. So you throw your eye. Because it gets shot easily, it only tells you at least one person is there. So they could, you know, a lot of time if you keep throwing your eye right away, outside of onto like at the start of the round, it'll get shot, and they're gonna condition it. They're gonna condition you. They're gonna think, okay, wow, now we can bait this, so we can shoot this eye and go to another side, and they have no idea. They're gonna get nervous because we rely on that information. Or they can shoot the eye, fake that they're rotating, and then come back and re-hit, something like that. So it's not always good to throw it all the time. It is good sometimes, just not every single round. Don't be predictable. That's why I go to a site where I don't think they are and throw the eye then. So if I have a read on, say, B, I go A and throw my eye A, and they're not there, it'll get the scan off and it'll show that no one's there. I can get the orb, and it allows my teammates, because they see the eye, to rotate to the other side. So don't throw your eye where you think they are, because it's just gonna get shot. You know, you kind of want to throw your eye where you don't think they are at the start of the round. It's kind of weird, but you know, it makes sense if you think about it. And yeah, it also allows you to grab the orbs. So on like Pearl, if you throw it outside A at the start of the round and it scans, you know you can get the free orb. And always grab orbs. It's very underrated. I don't know why people don't do it. Her ult is really pretty good. Anyway, her kit isn't that good at stopping pushes. Her tether is probably her best ability, but it's really inconsistent because of smokes. The tether relies on being able to see the person. So if you throw it, let's say, in front of the smoke, but they're inside the smoke, it's not going to connect to that person. You have to throw it. If you throw it inside the smoke, they have to be in the smoke, and then to tether that one person. So you kind of have to throw it. I like to throw it behind the smoke before they even get close to the smoke, so you know, it kind of guarantees that, and then it'll stop the push. It'll stop the push by a lot, if you really think about that. And then I always spam my dogs when I'm by myself and trying to delay. Delay is super important, guys, so always try to delay. And then once you're safe in a safe position, or in a position where you can spam, is when you throw your eye. Always make sure to throw your eye high in the sky, from a place where they can't see it being thrown up, and try to make it land as quickly as possible. So if you throw it really high in the air and it lands on the floor, it's gonna fall all the way to the floor and then pop. In that time, they can see it and then break it. So if I throw it onto the roof, and you know how it travels, and it'll automatically fall down after a certain amount of time. Let's say like a second. If I throw it in at the very end of the second, where it drops immediately, is the roof, and it drops like instantly. You know that it'll pop instantly, and it's harder for them to break. So try to keep those notes in mind when throwing your eye. Obviously, if you can't throw it high in the sky, don't just save it. Throw it on the floor outside of a smoke or something. It's actually gets a lot more scans than you would think. Obviously, if they're looking at the smoke and you throw it, they're gonna break it. It's not that hard, but it'll mess up crosshair placement. And if you throw it at the perfect distance, you can walk out with your gun out as they're shooting it, or as the eye pops. Because, you know, the eye, when you throw it down, it can't be shot initially. The eye has to literally, like, open up, and then you can shoot it. So a lot of the time, when it's thrown, people look at it, and they wait for that timing. And in that timing, they're staring at that eye. So you can take advantage of that. You can throw your eye at this amount of distance where your gun finally comes out, and when your gun is out and when the eye is finally popping, they're going to be looking at that eye, and you whack out of the smoke at the perfect time. So it's good like that too. And when you throw it directly on the floor, it'll instantly pop. So if you throw it high in the sky and then let it fall down, that's really bad. Throw it on the floor. If you're going to throw it on the ground, might as well just throw it directly on the floor, so it immediately pops, and you have a higher chance, way higher chance of getting a scan. But a lot of times, sometimes it's better just to have your gun out. In ranked, there's a reason why duelists most of the time have most of the kills. even if you are better than them, it's because they don't have to worry about utility or their teammates. They're worried about killing. And if you ever think about it like, okay, I'm gonna go into this game and just focus on shooting people in the face, then you're gonna get shot. You're gonna get kills. But if you're going to a game going, okay, I'm here to use utility and not shoot in the face, people in the face, you're not gonna get as much kills. You focus more on utility, helping your team, things like that, while other times, you're focused on getting killed. Which one's better? Probably using utility is better, but if you really want to get kills, then focus on just getting kills. Get caught using utility. This is one of a very common mistakes all initiators and almost every character. But especially initiators because they have so much utility, especially because as an initiator you have to use your utilities during minute timings. Like let's say I'm running to a corner and I want to swing a corner. Let's say I want to swing a corner and I have to, but there's a distance for me to get to that corner first before I can swing. Might as well just pull out your dog, throw your dog around the corner, and by the time I get my gun out, I'll be at the corner. So small minute timings like that is when you want to use your dogs. Obviously, you need to be safe when you're using utility, obviously, so don't throw it when you're out in the open. Always be safe, and there's some times where you just can't use utility. You just have to shoot them. That comes with experience, so just play the agent more and you'll find that more. One of the things I want to talk about is set plays, especially in ranked, worked really well. Obviously, you can't combo with your teammates' utility at all, so you gotta rely on yourself. Your utility is really good, and it's obviously better comboed with other utility. And it's really hard to combo that with teammates' utility in ranked because they don't listen, they're bad, they're not good, you can't trust them. Simple as that. So you gotta rely on your own utility, combo with your own utility, and worry about yourself. So let's look at this set play. The round starts. I jump spot for the initial peek because people like to peek with ops or things like that. Just jump spot just in case because none of my utility can get them off the initial peek. If I was a Skye, I'd flash this, but my tether is good for clearing the close. So I don't know if you saw, but I thought right here at the entrance, it'll clear close left and close right. So a lot of people on eco rounds, especially on C long, they like to play shorties and sit in the left and right corner. This will clear left and right because if they are there, it'll show you that they're there by tethering them. So now that I don't need to worry about close, I throw my eye, it'll land on top left, it'll clear everything except close right and underneath plat, or on the side of the default. So now I dog, I clear close right, behind the box. Now I only have to worry about plat. And I saw two people because I saw the Omen scan and the Sage in the smoke, so I didn't think there would be a third, but there is a third. That's my bad. I always try to calm that or whatever. Oh, my eye doesn't scan this. My eye doesn't scan that. So I'm timing the guy so I know I can get in the smoke and kill someone. And once you're in the smoke, you get out. So right here, I have ult. I should ult something. Like right here, I don't want to just sit on site. I should have dogged garage and double pushed garage. But whatever. Okay, I kill him. I should dog right here, but I don't. I even have eye coming out. But it's okay. I've gotten better. Anyway, things like lineups are gonna improve your fade a lot.
Help him.
So try to find as many lineups you can.
Oh, it's good. It's good. You guys have man advantage.
This lineup I created, one of my favorite.
I'll find you. Mark 2.
It scans everything, even close, like default and maze. Obviously, if there's a wall up, like normal Vipers do, you can just spam them without them seeing you. So this eye is really, really strong, and it lands in a weird place, and it always guarantees a scan almost. Unless you start using it over and over, then yeah, it's really good. So these lineups are really good. There's one outside Haven window that's really good. Obviously my Haven retake is really good. So these set plays, I'm able to comfortably understand and know, okay, this isn't clear, this is clear, this isn't clear, this is clear. And when I finally retake, my team finally retakes, they know they don't have to worry about this, okay, they do have to worry about this. And it gives them information, and that information is extremely important. To you, the person that scanned them, you gain the confidence, and to them, when they get scanned, they get nervous. So it's really important that you do that. And, find these plays. And when you go into a character, you want to understand like how you should play. Obviously, if you watch a pro play or things like that, you
It
get a
doesn't
better
matter
sense
where
of
they hide.
how
I'll
they
find
play,
them.
the reason why
I
they play the way they
always
play,
find
and
them.
how they,
My ult is
adapt off
ready.
different situations. So for me, when I play Haven on defense, I start B. So at the start of the round, I just pre-fire this, maybe get a lucky kill. If they're lurking, I dog the
Bring them
window.
down.
I don't use my eye because my eye is the #1 punisher for B, right? So I use my dogs first. I understand that the eye comes back, but unless I'm taking that space, I don't want to use my eye because it can be, I might have to use it. It's really strong to help my team on site. I'll tell you why. So I use my dogs instead. And if they push me, I can put my eye right
Find
here,
you.
and it'll scan all of front sight, and then I can just kill them. And you would think like, oh, that's really easy shootable, but when you walk into B and there's a smoke here, you go like this. You're not worried about up here, like you're worried about all these other angles. So it always gets you scan.
Bring them down.
Sorry, I dog front B because it could have been there.
Find you.
I because I see that he's in.
Mark 3.
And I get descanned. And look how nervous they are. They don't even know what's happening.
Enemy remaining.
My teammate got a kill through the smoke. I ran out. And the thing when to timing your eye is when either you hear them running in or they use utility. A lot of people won't just dry swing in to a smoke, right? They're gonna use a Phoenix flash or a Reyna flash, or they're gonna use some sort of utility, and that's gonna give you an idea of when they're coming in. So when he throws his Reyna eye is when I throw my Fade eye. So if I'm on pro waiting to do my lineup on A site, I can't hear that. I can't visually see them because I'll be in a smoke or too far away. But I can hear and I can see on the map. So I'm looking at the map. A lot of time Reyna's leer out, or I hear a Phoenix flash, and then that's when I throw my eye. And it'll, yeah. Anyway, the reason why I play B is so I can quickly rotate. A lot of the teams in rank, they just 5-stack. So I can quickly, maybe if they're, depending on how far they're up, I can throw an eye long or something, or not an eye, tethered. Obviously they didn't land because I'm terrible. But, if they're on site and I'm over here and my team is backside, I can throw this lineup.
Where are you?
It'll land up there, and it'll help my team. Like when they scale up and they're backside, and they can see all of them coming into sight, they're dead. Your team's probably gonna win that. Now I'm giving you these lineups because, as I said, the more lineups you know, the better the player your agent is gonna be. Because the more impactful, the better. Just the utility is gonna be insane. But you gotta understand. You gotta just play the game. You can't rely on these utilities. So this eye right here is super, 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 super strong. But you can't use it all the time.
You
can't just rely on it. I see too often that people just sit here. I tell them by eye, they just sit here and they do nothing, And then once the team realizes that you're throwing this eye on all the time, they just insta break it, and then you're just doing nothing, just sitting here. So don't rely on these eyes. Don't rely on your lineups. You gotta mix it up. Be unpredictable, and these lineups will help you. And that's the reason why I'm showing you these lineups. But you gotta be able to throw these lineups. You gotta be able to use the utility on the fly. That's what makes a good fit. You gotta just be able to think on the fly. Use utility that way. Alright, now I'm gonna do a VOD review because a lot of these situations are really niche and it's hard to explain how and when to use utility, especially because you're an information character. A lot of times you need to understand, you need to be looking at the map, you need to be like, okay, I need to get my team information here, but I can't get my team information here because of this and this and this and all of these different reasons. It's hard to explain all of them. It's just way easier to show you. So I'm gonna VOD review this. I'll try to make it quick and just get to the important parts. And like I said previously, I like to play Initiator, especially Faith and Sova, on these near the middle. So when they start pushing site, because most teams 5-man sites, I can then quickly rotate and throw my eye to help the people on site. So when they're fighting, it'll scan them on site, and then you can win them like that. But when people start defaulting, I think it's a little better to use your utility on the main. But when they're just 5-man pushing, I like to stay mid, because your utility can't really do anything to stop the push. It's better like other people are already on site and then you use utility to help the people on site that are fighting. So right here I'm playing mid. I thought my eye A because I don't think they're gonna go A. I thought they were gonna go B here, but it sounds like they're gonna come A anyway. And if you saw, like, even if I didn't throw my eye, he threw that gecko thing, so I knew they were gonna come A. So I didn't really need to throw the eye. I just thought they were gonna go B, so I want to get early info A and maybe get the one. So right here I really want to throw my tether after I reload.
Smoke again? No!
But you know, sometimes it's just better to
I tethered him.
to just have your gun out. Like right there, I wanted to throw my tether early, but he ulted, so I need to have my gun out so I can shoot the ult. On this one, I think they're gonna go B now because they just went A. So, and I called to get the Astra orb. So I really wanted to get Astra her orb so we can play retake on B. And they end up going B, and we end up getting the A orb, and we end up having Hall's control, and then they actually plant, so we Astra will side off. Now that they're not back hall, I can just spam my utility on the other side of the wall just to delay that they're not close. The delayed so they don't kill the planter. And notice I used all my utility as far away from the wall as possible. And once I got close to the wall, I then used my gun. So like just find timings to when to use your utility and when not to use utility. This, like right here, if you see on the map, we have everything, even B, except for art. So I know they're probably art. So I know, and I hear them brushing art. So a good way to stop the push is just to ult. So I just ult and like them look at me and use my dogs and stuff. And just get the kill.
Yep.
I tell my Sky to flash A main instead of me using my eye because I still want to get, I want to keep farming the orb because they're not really like pushing really hard. They're kind of walking up everywhere. So I tell them to flash so I can save my eye for sight. Just right here, I got stuck. Okay, here we are playing retake on B. We have Astral again. I just want to clear halls so then we don't have to worry about back hall. So I know they're back hall. Once I get my ult, I immediately use it because I'm so far away from the wall. I might as well just use all my utility now. So I'm just literally spamming everything until I get to the wall. And then a good note is when you ult, you fade ult, you always use your eye because they can't hear and they get discombobulated. So even if you throw your eye, they won't be able to see it and they can't hear. So it'll almost always guarantee a scan every time you ult. It's really good. So right here, I tell them to flash for A main because I don't want to use my eye. I hear that they're there, so I back up. I wanted to get the orb if they weren't there, but they are there. So I just back up. Use my tether to delay because it's really strong. My eye's not good to delay. Well, my tether is. My dog is not good to delay. Just insta breaks. He gecko ults out. I just insta break. He fades ult, so I can't really peek. I just get ready to throw my eye because I know they're about to come in. Because they use utility, that means they're about to come in. Look at that, they come in. I know I messed up my eye, but you know it's whatever, it works. So you see how good right there. You see how good the eye is right here. Like I know I mess up the eye and it's low on the ground, but because it's popped already before they walk out of the smoke, it automatically scans them. So you see how amazingly it punishes them when they run into sight. It's really good, the eye. Now on offense, I just dog close. I'm able to clear those behind pillar and the left corner, which a lot of people like to aggress on. And then once you give up that space, B long is basically free.
Wait, if they pop both smokes, we don't go.
Once you get past the smokes, but if they pop both smokes, you just waste both smokes right away. You can literally go back anywhere. So I want them to waste the smoke, so I just throw my eye. And once I throw my eye, they just smoke, and we just go back. And now they have no smokes, so we can re-hit. And you need 2 smokes to cover B long. So if we re-hit, it's not gonna cover everything. Or we can go A, and we can go right now to A, and they won't have a smoke. So then we just re-hit through art. And then by the time we hit again, I have my eye back. And then I didn't throw it high. I just threw it on sight, just cause, you know, it's just I didn't really have time. So I just threw my eye. And then once we plant, it's really high in numbers, so it's 5v4. All of us are on site or playing main, so I just automatically re-hit. Because it's so high in numbers, I don't want to just 5v5 on site, right? I want to like kill them from behind, so I can just reflank. Because I know there's 4 people on my team that could delay the other 4 people on the other team long enough for me to reflank from mid. And then I'm able to kill one mid, and then I get next contact, and I throw my eye first. Your eye is fantastic for post plant to see if he's on. Normally I would dog A main right there, the corner. I would just this corner right here because a lot of Phoenix like to flash or like they like to hold the off angle, and someone always dies on my team. It's annoying. But I realized that they don't peek B main or A main, so I know they're not gonna peek A main either. So I just get ready to explode. I throw my eye and then I dog to break the trips. Unluckily, it's because it's on the stairs. Like the
Back, back,
trips a little higher, so it didn't tag. That's why
back.
Skull Dog's a
Back,
little
back,
better to
back.
break trips because you can jump around
One eye,
and
for
break
sure.
the trips that way. But for the most part, you can kind of break the trips.
I'm blind.
So right here is a creative way to use the eye. It's a 2v1 situation. They're on A. I rotated from A to B. So I want to create some timing. So I throw my eye A link, so they might, or B link, so they might think I'm B link, and then I immediately peek B spawn, their spawn, because they might think and catch them off guard. But I miss. I did catch them off guard, but I missed. Oh! I ace that because I'm the goat. And I do the same dog B long.
It's okay with this.
I know we have Astral Wall, and I know he's gonna Astral Wall
Ulting for the left. He's
like
close,
that.
he's
So
close, he's in this smoke.
I
Dead, dead, dead.
ult the left side. Normally I would ult the right side, but I don't need to know if they're on the right side. It
Just
doesn't matter
protect
if
their
they're on the
point,
right
protect
because
their
we're gonna be on the left side of the wall. I even throw my eye on the left side of the wall, so I ult from the left side of the wall because I want to know if they're on the left side of the wall. I don't care if they're on the right side of the wall.
Hey, let's triple push over here. Triple
Right
push.
here,
You have
I call
flash,
for a
you have
triple
flash?
push.
No, no,
I don't
no,
have
no, no,
utility.
Walk through, walk through,
I do have a tether, but it's not really good. This is just one of the times you don't need to use utility. You just kill people. I would normally dog through that, but I didn't have a dog, so I called for a flash. He didn't have dogs, so we just tried swinging. It's fine. And then I'm gonna go. This time I see that they're down a lot, so they're probably gonna ego peek and try to get like a desperation kill. So I think they're gonna peek A main, so I dog close A main, even if just just in case.
Wait, get your orb.
Our push gets stopped. We can't really do anything. Our jet dies. We have to go back. We rotate back to B.
I have to plant
I eye
default,
for
I have to
sight.
I don't have this smoke.
No, I don't have any utility. It's planted safe, so I gotta push. I can't just play long. We can't play like a regular push. We gotta push something. So I call for others' utility, or this guy's utility, and we push Link instead as a team. Give you to these guys here, and then say whatever.
Tuck up A.
Yep.
His trips are too high. Alright, I'm ready whenever.
So right here, I'm fade ulting A. I fatal, and again, like I said, your eye is really good after you ult because they can't hear, they can't see. So as you can see, they literally, that Cypher, look at that fade in the corner. Like he's eyed, he didn't even know he's eyed, and he doesn't know where to break it, and then we just spam him through the wall.
She can stay here.
And then like I'm stuck default, I can't really peek because it could be art or secret. I'm really stuck, so I can't really get away. But I have a tether, so I can help my teammate. So I can just tether secret right now. Might as well use utility. I know I tethered him for sure, so I just run and gun him. Because when you tether people or ult someone, their health goes like 15 or something or 40, and then slowly rises up back to the original. So I know they're low, so I can just run and gun him.
Go keep.
So right here we wanted to run a fake, so I eyed from A to art to show that I was A main, and then I asked for Skydog A. I actually dog mid because he's mid. I don't want us to die mid as we're running this fake. I don't know what that was, but yeah, using your utility to condition them that you go A a lot and then run back B is really good.
Yeah, so you could run in.
Actually, one of the best utilities to fake with is fade because you deafen them. And then once they're deafened, the people on site have no idea whether they're not you're committing or not. They're just begging for help because they can't hear anything. They're getting dogged, and you can dog as you're running away to the other side. And on the map, the team would be like, "Oh my God, they use ult on A. I gotta run to A because my teammate needs help and he doesn't know what's happening. I
Don't
gotta go."
peek it. I have eyes.
And
Tell me
then
when they're out.
yeah, you just hold teams on B and they have no idea. So it's really good.
Tell me when they're out.
Another thing, like the eye is really good for post plant, so I use it for post plant when they're finally out CT. It just kills them.
I'm overheating.
This is my tether because I'm not close to the angle, so I might as well use my tether as I run to the
Let's
angle.
go, B. Good right now.
So I know this is really brief. Not really a lot of like highlight plays I showed, but this character is really information based, and it's a lot of intricacies. You just need you need to play around with him. You need to just play the agent a lot, and if you need extra like help or this wasn't like as helpful as you thought, just watch other people play Fade. Like really good players play Fade. Like the way they play Fade is how you're gonna want to play Fade. Like it's just that simple. Like there's like not a lot of tips I can tell you. Just play them. Find out what works. Min-max as much as humanly possible at first. So like just try to maximize the amount of utility you can possibly use. And then once you start getting punished for using too much utility, scale it back a little bit. But now you know your limits, and now you can, you know, you can be comfortable with, okay, this is good. This is just the right amount, and now I can just focus on killing people. And once again, your utility will go super unnoticed, but I guarantee you'll get these wins. Just find these lineups, utilize these lineups, don't rely on them too much. Play the game, you know, be adaptive, but the lineups will help an extreme amount, I mean. I hope this helps. Good luck in your games. Fate is dope. Thanks for watching.